Welcome to our garden here in Zone 6A, Upstate New York, and welcome to the full October garden tour. We can't wait to show you the beautiful fall color we've got going on. And let's start right here with the star of fall hydrangeas in the garden, this Gatsby Pink oak leaf hydrangea. It's a gorgeous variety of hydrangea that blooms on old wood. It grows about 4 to 6 feet tall and wide, and you don't even have to touch it. It just puts on beautiful conical shaped flowers that turn pink and then age into the fall. And then look, Christopher, zoom in on that.
This fall color is so good. I always say it's like a burgundy leather look to the leaves. Some of them will get a really vibrant red, but this is a 4-season hydrangea, not just the blooms and the structure, but that color is gorgeous.
And once the leaves fall to the ground, you'll have gorgeous peeling bark underneath. And Christopher, I want to take a moment and point out our Roseanne geraniums that we have planted underneath. They all grow up and through the oak leaf throughout the season, but they are putting on one last show. We can't let those go by without acknowledging them. Come on through here, our teasing Georgia rose. Every year we say we've got to take better care of like pruning and tying it in, and every year we forget because there's so much going on.
Yeah, it got real big this year too.
It sure did. We have a half-acre lot here in the suburbs, and so we've got a lot of stuff crammed in here, so sometimes things get away from us. Let's Dance Skyview hydrangea down here. Look at this hedge of Checkmark Trilogy Weigela. This is another variety of shrub that'll bloom on old wood. So although you see no flowers here, next year, it'll be covered in flowers.
And you know, Eric, this was a plant that we had discussed coppicing because it had gotten kind of wild. But this year it grew so beautifully, I think we need to leave it.
Yeah, I mean, we did coppice it last year. I don't know if you remember.
Is that why it looks so good?
Yes, and that's why we didn't have flowers this year, but it was coppice. So now if we leave it, we will get all the flowers. And behind it is our columnar Scotch pine, which you might remember in the spring, we had pine, I'm gonna say it wrong, pine saw.
Pine saw. He loves to call them pine saw weevils.
Pine saw larvae?
It was European sawfly pine. It's like European pine sawfly larva.
Okay. And so now we also, so now in the fall, we have to spray it and treat it. We have to kind of research that a bit to find out what we need to spray it with. But now is the time where they come in and start laying eggs and stuff, right?
Yes. I think the ladies come in and they lay the eggs in the fall. And then in the spring they came out.
They hatch and they eat all the new needles, or
honestly,
old needles.
One of the grossest things. I'm not even putting it up on screen.
It was pretty gross.
Ugh.
It was pretty gross. Lime Ricky hydrangea. I love that these flowers don't age to bisque. I love that they kind of stay this goldeny yellow. So pretty. Red Rover. What is this, Tiarella or Heucherella?
Heucherella.
Heucherella. I think that's so pretty, and I like that we kind of have this red patch happening now now that we've transplanted this Pungkill Japanese maple and this Paisley pup dog hobble. And our Hinoki cypress is doing well. Remember, if you transplant an evergreen in the fall, not like the best time to do it, but you can do it. Just keep it really well watered. Our wee bit innocent hydrangeas are starting to put on some fall color. And then,
I didn't know that Macrophylla and Serrata hydrangeas, the mountain and the big leaf, I didn't realize they'd put on such a big show of color.
I don't think they promote that enough about them. There's certainly a hydrangea that puts on a really nice fall color. Like Christopher, if you swing this way, you can see our Let's Dance blue jangles. They're also starting to put on a little bit of fall color.
Those
right
are so
there.
good.
And these bloom on old and new wood. Behind that is our giant hedge of arborescens varieties. It's a mix of 4 different kinds, actually 5 different kinds. We've got Invincible rubies in front. Here's a fresh Invincible ruby bloom, believe it or not. This is what it looks like fresh.
Gorgeous.
And then we've got Incredibles and Incredible Blush, and then we've got Sublimes and Invincible Lace, all mushed together. This is a young hedge, so it's not at its full strength yet. And then in front of them is a gorgeous hedge recently added at the end of summer, maybe early fall, of New Gen Freedom boxwoods. I think this is going to be really nice when they're just like kind of clipped neatly as a solid hedge.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go for a pretty formal hedge look here. And even though there's a bit of a straight line, because you know we don't like straight lines. Oh, it's right behind Eric. I think it's enough of a swoop that it doesn't fully go straight line.
Yeah, and we have our little bench here so we can sit and enjoy. The willow will drop its leaves soon. All of these hostas and things, they're getting cut back because, you know, Soon as it starts to frost, look, they get so
Ugh.
icky, right? We'll leave the hellebore foliage up for now until the spring. All of our arborescens and stuff, they will get cut back. We could leave them up for winter interest, but in our area, the snow gets so heavy and so icy that it just smushes them to the ground. Look at our Winecraft Gold smoke bush, still going strong. It's like a never-ending performer for us. We are going to prune it next spring.
We definitely are.
How much? We don't know yet.
That is still debatable. When I look from that window, from the living room out, it's so nice to see the structure, but it would also be nice to see the sun.
But the birds love it, and we get to see so many birds. Our Aphrodite sweet shrub right here. Our Lamium always looks fresh this time of year in the fall. It really starts to pick up.
So clean.
Invincible Spirit 2 hydrangeas. Now, we do have underneath here our yard enforcer. For the deer, we have a total of 3 of them on the property. We can put a link in the description for you. We love them. They have been like absolutely vital in making sure that all of our hydrangeas stay safe from the deer this season. But it's the end of the season. We're going to go into a freeze soon, so we can't have live water running to them. And so we're going to have to switch over to spraying. And I just sprayed for the first time yesterday.
Oh, it stinks.
It's pretty stinky here. But we prefer Bobx. All of these will get cut back, if you can imagine. All right, Christopher, this way.
Yeah, let's just swing over this way
Let's bob
before we
over
go
here.
through.
Kinsley Ghost Honeysuckle, still going strong, even with like the fall fading happening on it. Our Winecraft Black Smoke Bush is so pretty. We will coppice that in the spring to keep it size controlled. Our Borghese Fountain is filled with fall foliage, which I think is so sweet and pretty. And then we have our Celosia behind it that had reseeded itself. We planted it, I don't even know, maybe 2 years ago, and every year it just kind of reseeds itself. I love that about it. And so we left it here to keep growing. Peachberry Ice Coral Bells. You're right. You might remember that these 2 front ones were transplanted from the berm in the back because we did a little zhuzhing of the berm, which I'm really excited to show you how that's coming along. And then look, our Eastern Redbud, our Betty Corning Clematis, and our Generous Gardener Rose. And Christopher and I had talked about leaving the Betty Corning Clematis up all winter, as it'll die. Die, I guess.
Yeah, it will, because this goes to the ground, or 18 inches up from the ground.
Yeah,
because
so we'll cut it back in the spring, but we'll leave it up all winter to help insulate the canes of the Generous Gardener Rose, because we did have a lot of dieback last winter. You might remember this spring we went through and showed you everything the winter winds killed in our garden, and a lot of the big canes on the Generous Gardener was one of them. So maybe if we leave all of this up, it'll help protect it against the winter winds.
Yes, and one of the things I should point out that I love so much about the Generous Gardener Rose are the hips. And we are using that other camera that we love using so much, and it has a different handle, so I can get up a little bit taller to show you those beautiful orange hips.
And once we get through the garden arch, you're gonna see some gorgeous fall color on some of our young trees.
Come on through the arch into a part sun, part shade area. And I say that because it's part sun when there's less foliage here on this pagoda dogwood. I love this tree. It's one of my favorite. It gets this nice kind of tiered branching look. I'm excited to see how it does next year, because it grew horizontal, then it has kind of a vase shape, and then we'll see what the next tier looks like.
You know what, I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking about pruning, and I think that this branch right here,
this branch.
yeah, I think that one's gonna come out so that we maintain this perfect pagoda look.
I do like that. I like that really horizontal tree effect. There's a whole mix of beautiful perennials in here, some heucherella, some heuchera, some hosta, some big hostas. This is the Empress Wu, the giant hosta that it is. The side of it does get a little bit more sun here, but it's beautiful and it does so well for us. I'm excited to see this cut though.
You know what's so funny? We were worried about it getting too big for this spot. So we were talking to the people at Walters about our Empress Wus getting too big. And I said, oh, we should probably divide it so they don't get too big. And he said, actually, the more you divide it, the bigger they're going to get. If you leave it undivided, it will kind of maintain its size.
Like contain itself.
Yes.
Oh, I like
So
that.
If we don't divide it, it should stay a reasonable size.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Come on around here. We have the hedge of sublime hydrangeas. Oh,
we had to turn the yard enforcer off for the video, but there's still a little pressure left in the hose.
there's still a little bit, so I almost just got it. But this sublime hydrangea hedge has been stunning this entire year. It's seasonable to see a little bit of this crispiness, but these will get cut soon and it'll be looking fine. Behind that is the Weeping Ruby Falls redbud. I love that the dark leaf redbud trees turn green for their fall color.
It's cool.
I think that's really fun. And this grew quite a bit. I remember in the spring when we were doing some pruning, Eric had limbed this up a bit and you said, oh no, I went too high with the limb.
I know. Not that, no, I didn't. But I am going to prune some of these branches out next spring to make it a little more architectural.
Like, right, like you want to see the shape and not just have a cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's fun. I mean, so you can totally leave it, you know, in your yard if you like that look. I'd like to have fun with pruning.
It is fun to do that. So let's go over on this side, Eric. As we're kind of chasing this low in the sky sun, you'll probably see our shadows popping up at the bottom of the screen. This area, it's one of the first areas that we developed, so it's been fun to see it change over the years. This perennial here that will be very much cleaned up soon, the Bumble Sky Meadow Sage, it's one of the first plants that we purchased together. It puts out so much little color or, you know, towards the end of the season, but it's like a nostalgic perennial for us, and it looks great under this new addition, which is the Metamorphosa Japanese maple.
Yeah, we just planted this past spring.
So this has not even started its fall color yet, but it's known to change color sort of multiple times throughout the season.
Are you saying it hasn't started its metamorphosis
It has
yet?
not started the metamorphosis. Our roses are all looking very clean and happy right now, which is great. I'm wondering, Eric, do you think James Austin is going to be moving out of this spot next year?
I personally don't think so, but I often lose that battle.
Well, our redbud tree has grown, and we did have a Mary Rose over here that wasn't blooming, and now she blooms a lot in the sun. So,
I know, but I think I'd rather take time and thin out the redbud for now.
all right, let's do one more year of thinning the redbud.
Yeah.
Then maybe James moves.
Yeah, then maybe James gets a new home.
Down this way, what a phenomenal year our east border has had. The repetition of the quickfire and pinky winky hydrangeas that we have on both sides of the always incredible Tromnar spruce.
Wait, can we talk about the leader on the Tromnar for a second?
Yes, so something that we did not know much about, but we had to deal with is something called a weevil. It was a spruce weevil of some kind. I couldn't figure out why it was sending out leaders in all these directions. And then we had this section at the top that was hooked over. And it turned out that we had this weevil issue. So we had to cut out the weevil part, and we will be treating this. It's so funny how we had the sawfly larva on the one spruce, and this had the weevil. So it does have a new leader at the top, but it got a little crazy. And I almost wonder if all that rabbit damage at the bottom last winter on both of them kind of weakened them.
I would think that is a likely scenario because it was a wild winter.
It really was wild. And then we had this huge drift here of the newly noir coleus that covered up this section down here. But Eric, can you zoom in a little bit? Look at the regeneration.
Yeah, it did put on a lot of growth this season, which I'm happy about.
So I do think we can do something a little less dense here next year, because I'm excited that this spruce is going to fill out and not. It really just looked like a tree that had lifted up its skirt a little bit to show off its legs.
Yeah, the rabbits went wild.
So there's going to be some chicken wire put in here eventually once some of the rest of these annuals come out. But it's been a great year in this newer section of the garden where we had the oh so easy peasy roses. This is a great rose.
It really is.
Great color. A really successful in the ground annual for us is Augusta Lavender Heliotrope. I really like how this is performed, and we've had a couple frosts at this point. So it's pretty cool that we still have beautiful lavendery color.
Even this morning it was a frost.
Yeah. Anna's Magic Ball. Love this little arborvitae. Love the gold pop. Love to add more of these. All over the place.
You really like that one. I think it's pretty. Sometimes I think yellow evergreens can look a little sickly, but this one looks really pretty.
It is. It's a good color, and it's almost like little exclamation points throughout the garden. You don't need a drift. You don't need a lot of them, and it stays kind of nice and tidy. So that I do enjoy that. Coming around here, we've cleaned out the annuals from the Jensen urn. It's nice to see the shape of it. And I like how the orb still gives it a little structure. We'll leave this for the winter time.
Yeah, I do think we should cover it though, just to help, longevity.
Yeah, I agree. There's also the fact that this is one of the great times of year where we're going to start daydreaming and start thinking about color scheme and going through the process of how we choose our annuals and what we're going to be putting in this next year. We learned a lot about this urn this year and what works and what maybe works too well, actually. Yes. Let's see here. We've got the Lark Ascending rose also starting to show off its structure a little bit. Lark Ascending is the kind of rose that gets really big. So I'm going to clean this out very well in the springtime. But before that, we'll be showing you this in the next couple weeks. I'm going to take the bulk off the top of this rose because heavy wet snow might bring this all the way down to the ground and snap branches. So if I give it just a, let's call it like a preliminary prune, but not the real pruning, that comes in the springtime.
Yeah, I mean, we'll even do that with our panicles, like that quick fire.
Yeah, the quick fire. And can I also say, Pinky Winky has always been one of my favorite hydrangeas, if not my favorite hydrangea. This year, our 2 Pinky Winkies took off. Yes,
those are, what are those, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago we planted those Pinky Winkies?
Yeah, I almost feel like the hydrangeas that have the strongest stems do tend to grow slower.
Yes, for sure.
But they get real big, and that's exciting. This up here, our Northwind Panicum, it had gotten so flopped after a drought season with one big rain, it just got flopped. So Eric had tied this up. I think it looks like a giant corn stalk.
I like it.
It cracks me up.
Remember we divided that this spring?
We did divide it.
That's a division of the original.
It
got that big.
It's about half of what it was, too.
Yeah.
So it's an awesome perennial. This section has been so much fun to watch with my purple castor bean that I don't know if touching the leaves is bad, but I don't touch it at all unless I'm wearing gloves. I am saving some seeds from these little pods to try and grow more of these next year. I really love this tremendous plant that came from one seed, and that seed looks just like a Japanese beetle. And then to turn into this is exceptional. But the contrast with the lemony lace elderberry, love that.
Which was cut to the ground.
This was also cut to the ground.
Yeah.
Behind that is a trio of Jackmantii birches, a nice white bark birch. That trio was fantastic this season, and it put out mega growth. What did it grow, 4 or 5 feet?
I think so.
So that's gonna be awesome, and we will limb that up really high, keep it as sparse as we can as it gets bigger, so that it doesn't really shade this area, as it's just a backdrop.
Yes,
a very
I agree.
Gorgeous backdrop. Over here, we got some more perennials. This area every year is the area of our garden that transforms the most because we have hibiscus, we have phlox, and we have baptisia that make up this whole bulk area. So this whole section goes to the ground. And I think that's fantastic. Behind that, for the first time, we get to show you the fall color on our Dwarf King birch.
I know, I can't believe I forgot all about it back there.
When we bought it, it was a little shrub of a thing.
It was like a little clearance shrub.
Yeah, it was a little kind of shrubby birch. And now it will grow. I think it gets to about 8 by 8. When this whole area was planned out, we knew we had big plants in there, and we had just filled in with perennials in between. So we're gonna let them grow and see what they do for us. But I love that yellow birch popping up next to the winterberry. And then that's actually another Pinky Winky right there. Speaking of pruning, this was a big pruning year for the bald cypress, and I think we're gonna do it again next year.
I think it came out beautiful. It did put on a ton of growth too.
It really did. In areas near us, we see bald cypress quite a lot that get tremendous, and they just have this very open habit. So we're gonna encourage that open habit so that we don't shade out too many of our things below here, but just let it get huge and fun. I think it's a really cool plant.
Our berm garden was installed to help the transition between our backyard into the forever wild woods beyond us. So what we did was we repeated green giant arborvitaes across the entire back for winter interest and a little bit of, visual blockage from the woods. And then birch trees and catalpas and beech trees and a whole variety of trees up on the berm. And then shrubs in front. So it has a little bit of a different vibe than the rest of our garden. And it starts here on the end with our double take orange quince, which is one of our first shrubs to bloom in the spring. So if you see it now at a garden center on clearance, I'd highly recommend it. You'll be rewarded with gorgeous flowers next spring. Don't forget, we had a new water line installed this past spring, so we'd be able to water back here. Eventually, pretty soon, I would think, we're gonna have to take in our water lines, but it did allow us to install a yard enforcer sprinkler beyond the quince to help with deer prevention from them coming into the yard from the woods. But as we mentioned earlier, that's going away as the freezing temperatures arrive. And so what we're gonna try this year is installing a temporary seasonal deer fence across the back. So we'll definitely take you along for that journey, because as much as we are able to spray deer spray all season long, it's a task.
It smells so bad.
It smells so bad, and we'll probably continue to do it, but I think having a deer fence installed will definitely help. You can see we've also repeated some sea spray junipers across the base. We've got little bits of dicentra growing here. What is it?
Pink diamonds.
Pink diamonds, which we thought we'd lost to the drought this summer, but they are bouncing back in the cool weather. Rows of Sharons, gorgeous turkey foot grass, some serendipity alliums that we had divided and transplanted last year. This right here is one of our favorite grasses. This is morning light miscanthus, right?
Yes.
Did I get it right?
You got it right.
I'm so proud of myself. Recently transplanted vintage lipstick echinacea. We have a little aster here in our Litchfield urn. And then this is our new space right here. But before we get into that, I want to reveal one of our favorite fall colors of this season. Check out our Princeton Century Ginkgo.
This was so funny. It was not changing at all, and it almost changed overnight.
It's a gorgeous color, so bright. I think it's really, and I love the shape of a ginkgo leaf. Now we do have it staked. I don't want to have it staked, but when we've tried to unstake it, the whole top just kind of leans, and it's like a catch-22, because the longer you leave a tree staked, the less strength it develops on its own. I don't know, maybe we'll take the stake off once all the leaves fall.
And just give it a go.
It's still got the lavender going strong underneath it. I think we're gonna leave the lavender up all winter and then just cut it back in the spring.
Yeah, we'll shear it back pretty close to the ground so it doesn't get the woody base.
Yeah, all right, back to our new space right here. We recently planted 3 reminiscent yellow roses, looking very happy in this cool fall weather. There is some windy drip. This is just temporary that Christopher threw down to make sure these got well watered heading into the fall, because don't forget, when you plant in the fall, you got to keep it really well watered. 3 Let's Dance lovable hydrangeas. These, I don't know if we'll cover them right now. We might just not cover them and see how they do. What do you think?
Well, we planted these as a large enough specimen where I think they will come through the winter without covering. And we know that Skyview, when it's not covered, will still come back and bloom for us. So I'm torn. I think
we'll see how we feel.
Right. This might be also a simple case of if we have time.
Yeah, we'll see how we feel. Speaking of fall color, this is a gorgeous specimen called Opening Day Viburnum. It's supposed to get 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. It is much bigger than that, but the fall color is well worth it. This whole space right here, we're holding for annuals next year, because I thought it would be really nice to have tons of color here that we could just see from the terrace in that direction. We did put our Chitalpa, our El Nino Chitalpa, right here. This is hardy to zone 6, so it's borderline for us. We're zone 6A. It'll probably die to the ground is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but the way that these things can grow potentially, I think it'll shoot out some nice color.
Yeah, and we also learned that it puts a flower out at the end of each branch. So if we take the time in the spring, once it does put on that new growth, to kind of Chelsea chop it a bit, to encourage more branching, we'll get more flowers.
Yeah, I think the Chelsea chop journey is going to be a lot of fun in our garden in spring.
Little lime hydrangeas. These 2 in the front look worse for wear. Those were transplanted this fall. Black lace elderberry. This is an entire grouping of stormcloud Amsonia that you might remember we dug out from underneath the evergreens that had grown so large, and we divided it up, and I think we're going to have a gorgeous display next spring.
Oh, it's going to be good. Since we went from, I think, 7 plants to, what did we say, like 15 or 16?
So if we hadn't dug them out and divided them and such. We would have a gorgeous display of fall foliage right here. You'll get a little sneak peek of that right there.
Oh, right. We didn't
Because
cut
we
all of
didn't
them
pull
back.
that one. So they do get gorgeous fall color on them. Speaking of, right next to that is a trio of tough stuff hydrangeas that have more gorgeous fall color on them. It's an underrated fall color hydrangea, tough stuff hydrangea. Christopher, did you notice the fall color that's starting on our paperbark maple?
I have been looking out the window at this. It's so pretty.
I think next year, Christopher, this branch, I think it's getting a limb up. I have in my head, I've been thinking about it every time I mow the lawn and I walk by this tree. I'm like, okay, here's what's going to happen. We're getting chopped, 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 chopped. I think we're going up to here. I think all that's getting taken off. And what that'll do is it'll encourage vertical growth on the tree. And the best time to prune your trees is when they're young and get them the shape that you wanted. Christopher, look, you can see all the little foxglove seedlings.
Yep, we had some Sutton's apricot foxglove that had bloomed beautifully, and once they dried, I took their seed heads and crushed them all up to hopefully get a lavender and foxglove combo under the trees.
We've got some Gara happening here, which is an annual for us, so this will be going very, very soon. Our tater tot arborvitae in our Litchfield urn. Christopher, look at the red on the Arctic fire red twig dogwood. Those were just planted this past spring in the lowest point in our yard. That's the wettest spot where the water is going to go through. So I thought they'd really enjoy being there. And then we had a really dry summer with no irrigation on them because we thought we'll get summer storms all summer and they'll be flooded. And then they suffered a really, really dry summer their first summer.
But they're alive.
But they're alive. And so we'll coppice those, harvest all those red twigs for winter decor. And next spring, they'll just shoot out new growth and we'll do it all over again.
Here at the crabapple, which can anyone say it not like Moira Rose? I think it's so awesome. This is a prairie fire crab, and thank goodness it's persistent. So we get these beautiful little crabs that will be picked clean by the birds. It's really nice, not just for the look, but also the forage for birds. This area we learned a lot about in terms of density of annual planting.
Too many.
Too many, but we have this beautiful trio of Nye Bevan roses that did very well considering the annual's pressure.
Oh, I noticed something. They don't have their rabbit protection on them for the winter, so we got to do that.
Okay, put that on the list. We'll be putting the chicken wire cages on them soon. That'll probably do when I do my initial rose pre-pruning for winter. This is a great little tree. This is a Tickle Creek birch. It's a weeper. It was very much buried by beautiful salvia, but it looks like not only is it alive, I feel like we need to leave it. We need to let it continue its journey here and maybe just plant things that are lower around it next year.
Yes, for sure.
And then coming over this way, we have a Mary Rose. This was transplanted from that shadier spot and did very well in its new location. Winter interest, of course, is starting to take its place. This is a Japanese white pine.
Oh, I love that tree so much.
It's so good. And it did, look at it, did a nice job growing this year for being a slow grower. This area here, I have a feeling it might be getting, I don't know, maybe roses and hydrangeas.
I mean, I can tell you, I'm just so glad our friend took that spiderwort.
Yes, we did pass the spiderwort off to a friend who will love it in a way that we were not loving it. So pop over onto this side, some more beautiful roses. Look at this. We have a tiny little spray of Reminiscent Pink.
Look at you.
Isn't that great? This is definitely still, after having it for a couple seasons, the Reminiscent Pink rose, healthiest rose I've ever seen. Foliage, glossy, green, growth, wild. This thing gets wild. It goes all over the place, so be prepared for that. But you do get beautiful fragrance, beautiful color, and who doesn't like a healthy, easy care rose? Some more fall color to show off. Midnight Sun Weigela. Isn't that glorious? This really true red, and that is below another native species. This is an aronia called Lowscape Snowfire. It's a definite 3 season of interest. I don't know what the winter season will look like, but you get white flowers, black berries, Gorgeous fall color and a really pretty green shiny leaf. I think I'm into the shiny leaves, I've noticed.
I was shocked at the number of flowers this had in the spring.
Covered. I guess that's why they call it snow fire.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
right?
Snow in the spring, fire in the fall.
There it is.
Wow. This is Steady Eddie viburnum. It doesn't really get fall color on it. People ask, and I always forget to look, and now I'm looking, and I'm answering.
That is the answer. This will be getting some more water this year. Another thing that we learned about with what needs some more water than we expected. The beautiful Tupelo tree, or Tupelo. Someone in the comments had put the pronunciation correctly because it's a nice southern tree. Beautiful fiery red color on that. And we planted it here to design it so that the Princeton Century would be just behind it and make the color pop when you were looking from the terrace. Love that tree.
It's working.
It's working. We are going to be planting more of the Let's Dance lovable hydrangeas in this location next to this lovable, but we chose not to plant them now because it's a little bit too late in the season to do that. And since we know that those hydrangeas sometimes aren't great for us in winter, we're just gonna overwinter them in the garage, keep them not super well watered, but we'll keep them alive over winter, plant them in spring.
Yeah, I mean, if it was something that was hardier in our zone, we wouldn't hesitate to plant it, but they're borderline.
And then can we talk about the biggest, most wonderful success of the season? Let's Dance Skyview hydrangea. I even like the color of this little papery faded bloom. These 3 hydrangeas set us in motion to put 10 more in the front of the house. Continuous blooming, healthy, gorgeous color. It was pretty easy for us to keep it on the blue side. I really enjoyed every stage of the way. And would you believe this hydrangea died fully to the ground this past winter?
I can't believe it, actually.
It was gone. It came up and it was so exciting to have blue hydrangeas. It's not that easy in our zone because we have those cold winters and bam, no blooms on the macrophyllus. In this section here, we have the Verbena bonariensis, which has reseeded itself everywhere. I can go tap, tap, tap. Look at that. I have 60 new plants.
Wait, let me see.
Look at that. There are 60 new plants in my hand and I can just go, boop, now we'll have them forever. There's also some rock and play in the blue salvia, one of our favorite combinations to kind of play with that blue and purple in the airy upright. In here, there's actually 3 of Eric's favorite yellow rose.
Tottering by Gently.
Tottering by Gently, which is also known to have really beautiful hips. So we have not been deadheading at all. And there are some hips in there you might see, Eric. They haven't changed color yet, but they're a beautiful rose hip that once they do develop, we might be able to bring in for some winter decor or just leave for winter interest. The Weeping White Spruce, also Eric's favorite spruce, has done gorgeous this year. Really nice vertical, like beautifully straight growth.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that to get that weevil that the Tromnar had.
No, there's gonna be
there'd be tears.
Some stuff being handled. Down here we have Midnight Wine Shine, keeping with my theme of shiny leaves, I guess. It's a really awesome shrub. We have it on both sides of the pathway, and this side is flanked with Walker's Low Catmint. What do you think about the Walker's Low Catmint this year, Eric?
I thought it did great. I love it.
I like the simplicity of the solid perennial that fills this whole space in, especially underneath the billowing Lady of Shalott roses.
I am loving the rose branches in the fountain right now. I think it's so pretty and romantic and whimsical.
It is. It's romantic, it's pretty, and our roses are still going strong. We're gonna see more blooms before the season ends. This plant obviously will need a little bit of maintenance before the season ends, but totally willing to do it.
Do you remember in the spring, these were like eaten to the ground by the rabbits, and I thought, oh, well, it's gonna be bad. Almost all of our roses were eaten to the ground, and I thought it's gonna be a bad year for roses. And then it was probably our best rose year.
It really was.
So I think hard pruning is the key.
Hard pruning on roses, it seems scary, but it's worth it. This does have protection with the chicken wire cage. Obviously, you can't see it. So it's an effective and concealed protection.
Now it has protection.
Now it does. Tucked in here is one of our newest, most exciting spruce trees. Look at that. That is the Monty Blue Spruce. It's a hybrid kind of spruce from Islay. Crystal blue. So pretty. And this is gonna give us that really perfect Christmas tree shape in this area. I don't think it gets too big. Did you say it was about 8 feet at 10 years?
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll just be this nice anchor point in the middle. We're gonna get a bloom.
On our all dressed up.
All dressed up rose. This was a newer addition recently. It does have its protection on, and we surrounded this rose with more serendipity allium to repeat that in this area. Tough Stuff Top Fun in a hedge here. This did very well for us.
Ooh, we're a little stripy from the pergola. Should
Oh,
we
we
close
are.
it quick?
Let me close it.
Close the pergola to eliminate stripes.
Let's see.
There we go.
Is it better in the shade? Or maybe I can...
it's probably better in the shade.
It's better in the shade. Oh, there we go.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll get closer.
The light is really tough this time of year.
We do have our two little stone kitties right here. We asked for name suggestions on them, and people had fantastic, fun ideas. And you know what, Christopher? I don't think we actually ever settled on anything.
We
I
didn't.
was leaning towards flora and fauna because I thought that would be appropriate for a garden. What were you thinking of, Christopher?
I actually really didn't put that
You
much-
forgot.
I
All right.
totally forgot.
Well, I guess we're still open for name suggestions,
Still
so
looking
leave
for
them in the
names.
comments. More Verbena bonariensis here, which I love, paired with the Flavorette Honey Apricot Rose, which is probably, I think this is probably my favorite proven winter's rose for sure.
I would agree that that's your favorite.
I mean, thank you for agreeing. But could you, I mean, I just think it's my favorite proven winter's rose. So you love the Reminiscent Pink. I love the Flavorette Honey Apricot. And then, Christopher, we still got sage going. We got parsley going, but we've lost everything else in this bed. So we've got to get to cleaning this stuff up. And then over here, we have our blackberry, which I think it's called Taste of Heaven.
Yep.
And it really is a delicious blackberry. And I've never been like, ooh, I love blackberries person. And it must be because they're not that good coming from the store, but these were delicious. This is easy as pie bush cherry. I have no idea if this is what it's supposed to be doing. We've never grown bush cherries before. I don't know if this looks right or if this looks dead. To me, it looks questionable.
It looks questionable. It did put fall color on the tips, so maybe?
I don't know. I mean, it has irrigation. It's got all that going on. Invincible lace hydrangea. In the center there, our sugar shack has dropped all of its foliage. We have decided to coppice that next spring. It's getting bigger than it's supposed to, but we're not ready to move it yet. Our purple fountain grasses are annuals for us, and they've already succumbed to the frost. So they're goners right here. And then Christopher, keep backing up. Sprinter boxwoods. Underneath this fake rock is all of the electrical and controls for the pond, the Pondless waterfall. Our berry heavy gold, which also got eaten by rabbits, still managed to produce berries for us. Some October sky grasses. We're gonna hold off on planting till next spring because grasses are something that prefer to be planted in the spring. And these are those last little Let's Dance lovables that, again, we'll just put in the garage to overwinter them. Right here, we've got our blueberries happening. These were called Splendid Blue.
Splendid Blue, and they get gorgeous fall color.
They really do. Our plectranthus down here that was just ornamental is succumbing to the frost. We've still got berries coming. We've given up on harvesting them though. We probably should just to keep it clean and tidy. Our cascading hydrangeas, I think we're definitely gonna put them in the garage next to the rose standards.
Yeah, I think these will go right into the garage because we want to see them at their maximum beautiful potential.
The other thing that I can't believe is looking so pretty are these fall pansies from Incredible Genetics in our Pascal urn. I think it's just a really pretty combination. There's really not anything left to show up on the terrace. We've cleaned most of it up. Bloodgood Japanese maple, a nice mix of Perennials and geraniums and hostas. Our Sun King Aurelia has also succumbed to the frost, as well as our lavender mist meadow ruse, but another morning light miscanthus. So if you have a part sun location and you want an ornamental grass, morning light miscanthus will do a really nice job with that.
Interesting to note about morning light, it has red fronds. They're really different, and they also come out really late. They just started to bloom, and our other grasses, they have long bloomed.
I feel like that is later than normal too. Little Lime Punch hydrangea. And look at this, our Diana contorted larch is finally getting its golden fall color. This is a deciduous conifer.
Conifer.
So it does produce large cones on it, and it has needles that will fall to the ground after they turn bright gold in the fall. Underneath we have, oh, these were recently planted, and they are, don't tell me, I know it, they're Let's Dance. They're Let's Dance. What's happening to my brain? I forgot a hydrangea name.
It's the neighbor lawn mowing.
They're not Let's Dance Lovable.
Big band.
Oh my gosh, that wasn't even on my radar. These are Let's Dance Big Band.
They're Let's Dance Big Band.
I can't believe I forgot that. And you know what? Pretty full color on these Glacier Bay. Now look, this side of the yard does not have a yard enforcer on it. And this is what prompted me to do all the spraying. Our Styrex, our brand new Swan Song Styrex, just had its leader ripped off.
And it was such a tiny tree, and it lost about a half inch, so.
Yes, so I don't know what'll happen now that the leader's been eaten.
We'll see.
I'm assuming it'll be fine. It's so young.
Maybe it'll be more shrubby.
Maybe it'll be more shrubby. But I do like how removing that purple pillar rose of Sharon really opened this space up again for us.
It was a success.
I think it's nice. I love this clematis behind the bench here. The bench is to sit and enjoy the Pondless waterfall. More verbena so that it kind of, oh wow.
That's a lot of seeds.
I just really spread a lot of seeds around, but that's why we have them. The verbenas, you know, all throughout the garden. And that brings us over to our Pondless waterfall.
Before we get to the main event over on that side, let's take a look at the smaller Jensen urn that we just put in this fall. There's a lovely pink aster and more of those elegance pansies. I've seen these in many gardeners' gardens on social media this year, and people have been using them in such creative ways. It's a really pretty, new, frilly kind of pansy, and we have that ornamental kale. It's a really nice, tidy look.
I like it.
It's a really nice little arrangement that Eric came up with. We have some butterfly bush in here. We'll see what happens with those. In our area, sometimes they die to the ground, sometimes they just die. So we'll see what happens.
I know.
But I really liked that color here. It was a nice little pop. As you back up, can we just talk about the Arctic Jade Japanese maple? It's getting that fall color
happening.
on it. It is happening. This orangey shade. I love the way this tree, like, it just looks like, not like sunburn, but it's just like the outer sunnier spots get the color first. I love this tree. It grew quite a lot for us.
It did. It is going to get limbed up next year, though. I can tell you that much. Probably a good 2 feet of limbing.
Yeah, it's going to have a bit of limb and then the more planting space below. So who would be angry about that? And this area has some Let's Dance Ariba hydrangeas, lots of verbena seeds just falling as well. The Kodiak Black Durvilla, which I love. This shrub,
is that what it's supposed to look like right now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It is just it's just doing its thing.
All right.
And then the Montana Moss Juniper back there, which we know gets pretty big. We're willing to put the work in to train it, to keep it a little bit smaller, do some strategic pruning. You can see the oak leaf hydrangea at the crest of the Pondless waterfall. And as that fills in, it's going to be a really nice spot.
Yeah, those are more Gatsby glow balls, the small variety.
Right. And I also was thinking that we should take some of these verbena and sprinkle thousands of seeds at the back of them and have a wall of verbena.
Do it. Do it right now.
I could do it right now. I mean, I could even just go like this. Take that. Clamber back here.
Do it before we forget.
Before we forget.
That's the thing.
And then literally just go.
I don't know if you can see all those seeds falling, but I can.
They're all over me. Well, now I'm here in my favorite place. I like being in the waterfall, which I don't know what that says about my maturity level, but I like being up here and watching all of the little waterfalls go through. And then that leads me over here precariously. Hold on.
You can do it.
I'm in. Okay. Ice dragon, Japanese maple. With all of the other annuals out of the way, look at the growth that this tree put on.
That is wild.
Isn't this crazy? This one, we're definitely going to be doing a lot of pruning. We want to create kind of a canopy effect. I think we might be maybe reaching out for some assistance on which direction to go with the pruning, because it is such a cool tree, and I just want to maximize what we get from it. Would you agree?
I agree.
And then
the best time of year to prune it is not now.
Not now.
And not in the spring. So we'll figure it out.
And then I'll look at the gemstone Hinoki cypress that looks like the sorting hat from Harry Potter. It put on a whopping 1/4 inch of growth this year, as it's supposed to. There you go. It's such a cute little plant. This whole area without annuals, it's just more of that daydreaming. I'm starting to think, ooh, what would look good down here? What do we want the effect to be? I actually had this thought about water. So we did the blue Supertunia, the Mini Vista Indigo, and that was kind of like a waterfall. But what about the foam at the bottom of a waterfall? What about white? What about something fluffy, something low and fluffy?
White? I don't know.
What about something where we put diamond frost euphorbia in, so the euphorbia was like little clouds of foam?
I mean, my initial instinct is like a hard no, but you never know.
This is why we have to
I
start
don't
so
love
soon.
the diamond frost euphorbia, but I know you do. So,
I
and you were
know.
right about the Super Junior Mini Vista Indigo.
I've just got these little things in my head of like how to create a little moment. But speaking of moment, our little firefly, Oriental Spruce, it did come through the season. It's got lovely growth on it. I think this is going to do very well.
Yes, it suffered some sunburn, but it's bouncing back.
Yes, and because it was a young plant. And sometimes a young conifer, especially yellow plants, they can take on sunburn until they get that root establishment to keep it going. Our Beyond Midnight Caryopteris did so well, bloomed beautifully, and we'll treat this similarly to a butterfly bush in our zone. We'll see where the new growth is coming next year. If it has to go to the ground, it will, or if it stays a foot high, it will. And that's what we'll do.
And that was just a tiny little quart when we planted it.
It was. The ironweed, this is the native species ironweed that has really pretty seed heads. Did you see these, Eric?
I did.
They start out that beautiful purple color and then they just turn into this little pom-pom. I love that. I kind of want to cut these maybe this would be nice on the Thanksgiving table.
It would be nice.
Right? Maybe I should come and cut some of these soon.
Yeah, we do host Thanksgiving, so we're already planning.
We're planning. I have ordered fabric for the table runner. I'm excited about it. I'm going with a rose and mocha mousse color scheme.
Ooh.
Can we take a look at this rose?
Yes.
This rose here has been exceptional. Some of these are over or past, but
I love this rose so much. This is tied for me.
This is tied with, well, they're both Flavorette roses.
Yeah, this is Flavorette paired.
This was one of their newest introductions from Proven Winners. It's more of a shell cupped or shell pink cupped effect. Really pretty. Smells amazing. It does have a bit of a pear flavor. Over here, Eric, as we move along this border.
Not beautiful foliage.
Not beautiful foliage. We're just past the 2-week mark since our first frost. This is the dahlia I grew from seed a year ago, saved the tubers, and then planted them here. I call it number 6. I usually, with my dahlias, I'll wait 2 weeks from the first frost to cut them to the ground and dig up the tubers. This year, I'm actually going to dig up the tubers, and I had promised a few friends that I would send them some. So I'm going to do my division early this season. And they do look so terrible, and they were in such an interesting...
Oh, he's weed whacking the other side of the fence. That scared me.
Our neighbor's weed whacking on the other side of the fence. Wow, that
scared me. I was like, what is that?
Anyway, the dolly was in a really interesting place. I didn't think it was going to get quite this big.
My heart is still pounding from the weed
It's hard
whacker.
to move on. It's really hard to move on from that.
Never heard that sound.
I know. It's not like it happens frequently. So this...
Rude. Keep going.
So this plant, it got really big and it's really close to the front of the border. So I need a new spot to plant this next year. That's a little further back, but still accessible for cutting the flowers because they were beautiful. Let's keep going down, Eric. It's nice to see this area all clean with those annuals out of the way. There is a trio of Elizabeth rose from David Austin. I do love when you see a rose and it has slightly different foliage than all the others. It's a deeper green, it's more veiny, it's got a little red serration around the edge. This is on the newer side from David Austin, and it's said that it gets huge. So this is going to be kind of like the lark ascending. Behind that, which I cannot wait to see next year,
Oh my
is
gosh, I forgot there was something behind it.
Spice Cowboy. It's a new viburnum, and it's the kind of viburnum that's going to get 10 feet tall. It grew, let's see, when we planted it, it was not even a foot tall, and it probably got 3 feet. So we're going to have some nice flowers on that, and eventually this beautiful viburnum canopy over beautiful roses that are pink, and then whatever annuals we plant below.
Gorgeous.
That's some future planning, and obviously verbena, because the verbena's everywhere. This is another plant with our new trend of treat them like a butterfly bush. This is a vitex called Rocksteady. Really great plant. I think this needs to be in every garden.
It surprised you. I had to convince you to try that one.
Yeah, this was one I needed to be convinced on, fell in love with it, and now I'm really hoping that it comes back and grows just as big next year. And then we have these Let's Dance rhythmic blue hydrangeas, another hydrangea that surprised us. So good.
The size of the flower surprised me.
Really wonderful, gigantic rebloomer. I think next year what we have learned is we'll wait till spring, but we will probably transplant them a little further forward because that hydrangea was already going to take up some space. So let's get them in a nice, happy place further forward. And just to finish off this section, we have our emerald green arborvitae, which was the only plant that got held over from our original west border. How happy to see just a traditional emerald green arborvitae this clean. In our area, often we see them from about here up because the deer eat the bottom of it.
Don't jinx it.
We're not going to jinx it, but we are going to have it sprayed. And we have thoughts about deer fencing maybe about halfway back on the sides of the house as well to experiment.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. And the last thing here, look at the lark ascending, or not lark ascending, Woolerton Old Hall climbing rose. Just starting to get trained into some horizontals here. I think it's so romantic to see those curving, beautiful branches on this trellis. It's a really pretty rose. I'm excited to see how that does next year.
Oh, and the dinger.
Oh, yes.
I can never remember what kind of shrub this is.
It is a cryptomeria, Japanese cedar.
It's pretty. One of my surprise favorite panicle hydrangeas is pufferfish. I love how big the flowers are, and they're so poofy, and then they put out these little tips on the end. I think it's really cool because it's so unique. I think it's an absolutely recognizable hydrangea, which I really appreciate. String Theory Amsonia. This is what that fall color on Amsonia can look like, this bright golden color. Really pretty here. Underneath our Parkland Pillar?
Parkland Pillar.
Parkland Pillar birch tree stays really, really narrow. Little roses here, big roses here. This is Emily Bronte. She's a beast.
There are 3 of them here, but wow, big.
Yeah, so next year we have plans. We're going to give her more water because I think she needs it. And then we also have a structure we're going to implement behind the plant in the spring that we can tie her up to, which I think will benefit her from falling over on top of the perennials in front of her. Because if you look at the David Austin Rose's website, she's supposed to be like a 3 to 4 feet tall and wide rose.
But we have talked to some other rose friends, and they also agree that she is a beast of a big rose. Oh, wait, look at them. That's a morning light miscanthus with a little more sun, and the fronds are bigger.
Yeah.
Huh. Sorry, sidetracked.
So Emily Bronte definitely gets bigger than they say on the website. But underneath her, you can see dotted throughout are these violets or blue delphinium, which are always in flower. There's always at least 1 or 2 flowers happening on them, which is a really cool perennial. Look, fresh flowers on our Firelight Fuchsia yarrow. Very nice. And then we'll keep moving. Another chaste tree, a blue feathers juniper, right?
Hinoki cypress.
See, I thought it was a Hinoki cypress, but then I thought it got corrected to be a juniper, but then I thought, I can't keep track. You know me. Oh, fresh flower.
Oh, yeah, on a Rocksteady.
Who would have thought?
Really nice.
All right. I do love this combo right here with our Night Embers sedum and the Embers Wave yellow arborvitae right here. Our Baptisia that'll be getting cut back soon. This is a Dawick purple beech, which is a very narrow. And we planted it here just to, block a little bit of the siding that happens. Look at the fall color starting on Wabi Sabi. Wabi Sabi is a Japanese Korean hybrid maple for improved cold hardiness. It has a weeping structure, very finely cut foliage, and the fall color is gorgeous. It's just starting.
It's so nice. This one can get about 10 feet tall, but it takes many, many years.
Sure does.
And we're just gonna keep it, in this shape, just a beautiful mound.
Now, I think the deer that came from the street, Christopher, discovered our purple leaf sand cherries. These are a variety that stays dwarf from Proven Winners.
Stay classy.
Stay classy. Any branch that was sticking out, it ate off.
Oh my goodness, we had it protected from rabbits, but it was a deer that ate the tips.
I mean, it could be, actually, you know what, look. I think this is a rabbit because it's at a perfect 45-degree angle.
Oh,
This is rabbit.
that is rabbit.
Yep. That's funny.
That's rude.
Oh well. Vanderwolf pine looking good, but it is starting to do its needle drop in the center. If you see your pine starting to have all yellow needles on the center, that's very normal. They'll just fall to the ground. You know, no big deal. Catmint, Invincible Lace. This is a Rose of Sharon putting on some yellow fall color. Limelight Prime doing its thing. Another gorgeous panicle hydrangea. Very nice. Let's Dance Can Do. Lots of new flowers coming, look.
I know. You know what's so funny? It went through. It's almost like it was molting in the summer at one point. It was not good looking, especially when our friend Sky was here. It was not looking good, but it has shaped up.
It's an odd hydrangea, but it's very cool.
Yes, but I'm really excited to see it have another year in the garden to show off and show us what it can do.
It's true. This is such a cool ornamental grass, and you know I don't know the name of it.
That is Piglet.
Piglet. So cute. Firelight Tidbits happening here. Some traditional English lavender happening here. Gabriel Oak Rose. Weeping Norway Spruce right there. And then to my other side, we've got some cool evergreens happening. We've got our Blue Point Juniper. We have Strongbox Inkbox Holly. Inkberry Holly. Some North Pole Arborvitaes. A purple fountain grass that's gotten frosted. Green Screen Arborvitae. Cedar Rapids. Did I get it?
Soft Serve.
Chamaecyparis. I practiced this one while I was mowing yesterday. This is Burke's Red Variegated Pine.
Burke's Variegated Red Pine.
So close.
You were so close.
And then Cedar Rapids.
There it is. Cedar Rapids and Soft Serve are basically the same thing, but Cedar Rapids gets big.
Yeah, so these will be, they look so babyish right now because they are babies. But eventually, like this, will get just like the Vanderwolf pine, but it'll have this really cool variegation. So this is a different yellow on the center. This is the color of the needle.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Can you see that? Like
it very much glows.
Yeah, I think that is really cool. Our Jane Magnolia here, which already has next year's flower buds all over it. Winter Gem Boxwoods do well for us. Christopher, is this one? Which one's better? Oh, look at this one. Look at this. Look at our carding mill. Are you kidding me?
Can you believe how many buds at the end of October? Oh, hold on. This one's good. Look at this.
Yeah, and I also can't believe the orange mums are still going.
Yeah, the mums looked really good. This was fun. Obviously, the purple aster did not hang with us
like
very
a blink
long.
of an eye and it was gone. Oh, we've got more carding mill over here. Look. So pretty.
It's
such
amazing.
a stunner.
Amazing how these standards did so well.
Yes. This is our columnar Hetzi juniper, which we have here at the front corner, which just really provides great winter interest all season long. Winter Gem Boxwood. Now up here is where we noticed the first little bit of deer damage a couple of weeks ago, because it's that season where they're starting to come into the garden. And that's what really prompted me to spray yesterday, was I saw the deer started to eat our Invincible Wee Whites up here, because again, up here we don't have any of the yard enforcers, and we haven't been spraying all season because we haven't had to because of the yard enforcers. But now those deer are really starting to eat. And I started to spray, so it doesn't smell so great up here right now. Blue Kazoo Spirea. I think these are getting coppiced next spring.
Yep,
for
coppiced.
sure.
They'll be cut right to the ground.
Yeah, size control, and I think they just need a little bit of a refresh. Firelight Tidbits. Now these get a little overspray from the lawn sprinkler, and you can see the blooms just haven't held up as well as ones that stay dry. And that's something to keep in mind. If you have a panicle hydrangea that gets overhead water from your lawn sprinklers or something, they will brown out versus staying a pretty fall color. And that brings us to our hedge of Let's Dance Sky View, which I think we're gonna put a crop tunnel over.
Yeah, like the super hoops that we used for the Tough Stuff Top Fun. And that will be not just for weather protection, but also deer protection.
I think that'll help for the season. And then there's Vanessa Bell Rose behind that, which have done very well since we added more drip irrigation, and our tricolor beech up there. Our green wall is repeated over here with the same varieties of green screen and North Pole and Blue Point and something.
That's also a soft serve Chamaecyparis.
Spring Grove Arborvitae, Red Fox Katsura, which I'm excited to see the fall color on this year. Lime Ricky, American Pillar.
Thin Man.
More Firelight Tidbit, another Hetzi columnar juniper. Look at that cool pampas grass. That one's hardy in our zone.
And I think it's called a dwarf pampas grass, which lies.
And we'll end here on our panicle hydrangea. This is a vanilla strawberry.
If you'd like to see what our garden looked like back in June, take a look at this video here on the screen.
Thanks for joining us today. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.